Salam sejahtera dan selamat pagi. 大家早上好。Today we're going to learn about lesson 4. 我的房间。我的房间。What you're able to do after this lesson? First, you're able to identify item in the room. And second, describe the condition of the room. The keyword for this lesson is 这个那个这里那里 Also, you're going to learn how to describe a things with adjective with different levels of adverb. Let's move on to 生词 For this lesson, we have two sets of Quizlet. The first one is 我的房间13个 term, 30 terms. And the second set is your very first adjective, 形容词 which consists of 11 terms. For your information as well, 之前 means before. 之后 means after. I hope the condition of your room is always 之后. Not too worried about these two terms at the moment. You're going to learn the detail later. Let's move on to the substitution practice. Remember, our first learning objective is to identify items inside your room. In order to identify, this is one of the very important keywords. Let's read. 这是什么？这是什么？ Any idea what's the meaning of 什么？ Yes, 什么 means apa, what. 这是什么 means what is this? So, ladies and gentlemen, 这是什么？这是床。Make sure your pronunciation is correct. Careful with the tone. 这是床。这是床。Which tone is the word 床? Yes, second tone, the rising tone. So, 这是床 means this is a bed. 这是 this is. Next, in order to point out something a little bit far away, we can use the word 那是。那是 that is. 那是什么 What is that? 那是窗。那是窗 Which tone is the word 窗? Yes, that's the first tone. Flat and high. 窗。窗。那是窗 That is a window. So, ladies and gentlemen, different tone, different meaning. Be careful with your pronunciation, or else you will end up sleeping in the window. Oops. Next, instead of only identify what item is that, you're also able to identify this item belongs to who. Example, 这是谁的电脑？电脑 means computer. For your information, 电 means electric, electrical. 脑 means brain. So, a brain functioned by electric. 电脑 means a computer. From the previous chapter, we learned about the progressive pronouns, which is awak punya. Orang Cina memang suka punya, iaitu perkataan 的. First person, 我的 my, saya punya. Second person, 你的 awak punya. Third person, 他的 dia punya. In order to answer this question, 这是谁的电脑? Ini adalah siapa punya komputer. You just replace the integrative word 谁 whose to the progressive pronouns that you would like to mention. For example, 这是我的电脑。这是我的电脑。Ini adalah komputer saya. Ini adalah saya punya komputer. This is my computer. Next, if you want to mention something a little bit far away, instead of this, 这是 you use the word 那是。那是谁的电脑？那是我的电脑。Of course, if the computer do not belongs to you, which belongs to 老师, you may say, 这是老师的电脑。这是老师的电脑。Next, let's describe the condition of the room. In order to ask for how is the condition in a room, we use the word 怎么样？怎么样？ Bagaimana? How? 他的房间怎么样？ Dia punya bilik macam mana? 他的房间怎么样？ Ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is a very decent room, or actually my dream house too. Phew. So, let's use the word not bad to describe this room. 他的房间真不错。他的房间真不错。不错 not bad. In the previous lesson, I told you that the Chinese use an adverb before an adjective to describe things. In this case, we have the word 真。真 means very. What's the difference of 真 with 很？很 very sangat. 真 you might describe as a higher level of very, which is sungguh dalam bahasa Melayu. 很 sangat. 真 sungguh very, a higher level. This is the formula for adverb and adjective. You always put the adverb in front of an adjective. Let's talk about adverb. In the previous lesson, we learned this word 很。很 means very. 可爱 means cute, ugly but adorable. 很可爱 very cute. If you want to describe something very cute, 真可爱。真可爱 comel sungguh. If you want to describe something more, you may say 非常可爱。非常可爱 sangat sungguh comel. Next, 太可爱。太可爱 terlalu comel. Too cute. And of course, 最可爱。最可爱 the most cute. The most cute. This one, the most cute. Contoh. Next, you also have an adverb to describe the negative form. 不可爱。不可爱 not cute. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you have learned the word this and that. 这那 And now we're going to look at 这里那里 here and there. Example, 这里有什么东西？这里 sini 有 ada 什么 apa 东西 barang 什么东西 barang apa. What do we have here? In order to answer, just replace 什么东西 to your answer. We can see we have a table and chair. 这里有桌子和椅子。这里有桌子和椅子。Next, 那里有什么东西 ？What do we have there? 那里有桌子和椅子。那里有桌子和椅子。和 means and in case you forget. Before we move on, a simple quiz. 哪里？那里。Can you spot the difference? Yes, the tone and the writing are both different. Of course, the meaning are different too. 哪里 bukan bahasa Dania ya. 哪里 means where. 那里 means there. Be careful with that. Next, you may describe what do we have here and there by using the same sentence pattern. Next, let's discuss about measure word, penjodoh bilangan. From the previous lesson, you learned about the word ke as the most common measure word. You can use the measure word ke to describe 一个书包，一个电脑，一个手表，一个杯子。You can use the measure word 张 to describe 一张桌子，一张椅子，一张床。And finally, 本 You can use the word 本 to describe 一本书，一本书。Tips, ingat ya, penjodoh bilangan ni jodoh kena betul ya. Kalau salah jodoh, masalah ya. Never ever dialect translate measure word from your mother tongue or other languages. Next, 这个杯子是谁的？ Let's break down this sentence. 这 pronouns, 个 measure word, 杯子 object, 是 is adalah, 谁的 siapa punya. 这个杯子是谁的？Cawan ini adalah siapa punya. In order to answer, replace the interrogative word 谁的 to progressive pronouns. Example, 这个杯子是我的。Ini adalah saya punya cawan or dialect translate. Ini cawan adalah saya punya. This is my cup. You can always replace the object and the progressive pronouns to form the sentence that you want. Example, that bags belong to mine. 那个书包是我的。Let's give more information to this sentence. Example, 这个杯子是谁给你的？这个杯子是谁给你的？ We have a new vocab here called 给。给 means to give. To give. Fun fact, if you ask a Chinese to give you something, instead of 拿, you will say 给。Let's break down the sentence. We will start with a pronoun, followed by a measure word. Of course, the measure word will depend on which object you are referring. As for now, we refer as this cup, 杯子, And the measure word for cup is 个。这个杯子是 adalah giver pemberi 给 penerima 的 example 这个杯子是爸爸给我的 cawan ini adalah bapa bagi saya punya. Yes, it sounds like a Chinese who are speaking Malay. As always, you can replace any object that you want, any giver and receiver to form your own sentence. It's not too difficult, isn't it? Finally, homework. You need to use the post-it note to label your room. 你的房间有什么东西? What do you have in your room? Awak punya bilik ada barang apa? Yes, I want you to use a post-it note to tap at the object in your room and label it. Trust me, according to some of the research, this is one of the best ways to learn, especially a foreign language. Of course, you will have books in your room. Label it. Of course, you will have bed in your room. Label it. Perhaps you will have a cat in your room. Label it. The more that you label, the easier that you can refer to it. And from time to time, you'll be able to memorize and master the vocab that you label. Just one advice. Please do not label your roommate or else you're going to get angry. I think that's all for today. Enjoy your homework. 再见。